what's up, everybody? I'm Doug,
And I'm Lorenzo.
and this is Good Suffering. Now, on the show, we normally talk about a movie that I've seen before,
But I haven't.
but before we do that, we do some horror news.
Horror news.
We got to figure out a name for this little like talking about what we've seen recently thing.
That new segment?
Yeah, new segment.
I'll think of it.
All right, cool. All right, so what have you watched?
Oh, we're going right into that now.
Yeah.
Jeez. What have I watched? I'm gonna be frank with you, John. I've just been watching a lot of Narcos Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh God, you know I have.
Yeah.
It's so good. I keep telling you to watch it. Have I watched any horror?
Anything even like
remotely
like genre at all?
I mean, look, the true horror really is like Reaganism and the war on drugs.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Well, I've watched enough for both of us. Don't
There
worry.
we go. Okay,
Caught
good.
Netflix's new film Cam, which was pretty all right. It's pretty okay.
Mhm.
Basically, like, imagine if you had the creators of Black Mirror watch a couple of David Lynch movies and go, yeah, I could do that. It's kind of like that, but a little bit better.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not so much like there is sort of like a damning technological kind of aspect to it, like, oh, you're only in it for the likes kind of thing, like, oh, that's what you're obsessed with. But once you get past that, it's pretty good.
Cam, and that is on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's a Netflix
I don't know
original.
why these things don't
Blumhouse
get
produced though.
these things don't get advertised to me. They don't show up on my queue or whatever.
Since the last episode, I have watched all 6 episodes of Channel Zero: The Dream Door.
Yo, you've been watching that.
Fucking amazing.
crazy, yeah.
Fucking amazing. Pretzel Jack? I'm gonna get a Pretzel Jack tattoo. Fucking amazing. What a season. What a series. 4 seasons, not a bad moment.
It's on what channel?
It's a sci-fi original.
Right.
I have
But you have the.
It's also on Shudder though. I think at least the first 2 or 3 seasons are on Shudder. And I have the DVDs.
Now that I think about it, can I say that I watched Ghost Adventures with my mom?
Yeah, you're fine. You and your mom watch Ghost Adventures?
She loves it's kind
That's
of a
cute.
little family thing. A lot of us watch it.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I finished American Horror Story. Finally watched that last episode.
Oh, the season's over?
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
okay.
how
Only
out of
10
the loop I
episodes
am.
this season.
Wow.
It's pretty okay.
It's good?
Ending. Yeah. For Thanksgiving, I not only watched Blood Rage, which is an annual event for me. Blood Rage, amazing. Go hunt that down, everybody. Great little slasher. And I watched Thanksgiving, which is a trauma release from I think maybe like the early mid 2000s about a killer turkey who's like I guess he's like reincarnated from like the souls of like Indian people who've been killed by white people. So he goes and kills white people.
Jeez.
And he talks back. He's almost got like a Freddy kind of aspect to him, but he's just a turkey. It's great.
A Freddy aspect, but it's a turkey.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I watched Maniac Cop 2 for the first time, which I'd never seen. I'd seen the original. Watched Dolls for the first time, which is a Stuart Gordon movie. It was pretty okay. A lot of people think like, oh, Doug's seen all the classics, right? Because like I'm like the in the know horror guy. of
That's
this.
the whole point of the show.
Yeah, but like no, there's still pieces missing from that. You're always watching more. They're always hunting more things down. Like there's never a point where you can really get comfortable. You know what I mean? You always gotta
Always push yourself.
always push
Absolutely.
yourself. We did watch something. You're forgetting.
Am I?
We watched RoboCop,
Oh yes.
and you
yes,
love
yes, yes.
RoboCop now.
Oh my God. Do we have to talk about it?
Yeah, we gotta talk about you loving RoboCop now. Yes.
Okay,
please,
it's
please.
a lot better than I remember. It's a lot better. Like I remember hating it, and that's not so much how I feel anymore.
You love it.
It's pretty freaking good. Yes.
Oh,
I'll
you
give
love it.
that.
Oh,
I
he
wouldn't
loves
say I love
RoboCop.
it.
The
Oh, my
podcast
God.
is saved. I watched Call Me by Your Name, which is not
Yes!
genre. It was beautiful though.
It's just that
and
I've
I
been
wanted
trying to-
since I made you go through the whole public shaming of RoboCop. I'll say I watched your movie and it was nice, even though I shit on you.
You liked it though. You really did.
I liked it.
You felt feelings.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Last night I saw The Possession of Hannah Grace, new movie.
Yes.
Bad movie.
Yes. Shout out to Valerie, my little cuz.
Does she listen?
I don't know if she really does. I tell her not to, but she was like, "Oh, talk about this movie on the show," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll find a way to talk about it." So there you have it. Doug's
bad.
review, not very good.
Really bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And you were trying so hard to get me out to watch it.
Yeah, it was
And
really
I caved, but you canceled on me.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Like
man.
just all around.
Oh my god!
I mean,
it
the
was
reviews
like,
are pretty
It was
bad.
like imagine putting somebody through film. Like imagine somebody who's seen like a bunch of like classic horror movies. Not even classic. Let's say somebody who's like started watching horror movies in like 2000. Has never seen a horror movie prior to 2000, but just watched all like through like the Possession movies that have come
Like The
out.
Ring and stuff.
Yeah, like watched all of that going through like Paranormal Activity, and then saw like the Autopsy of Jane Doe a couple years ago, last year. I went, wow, holy shit, that's a movie. I'm gonna do something like that. And then you sit them through like one semester of like film theory 101, and then like introduction to filmmaking as well. Like give them a semester, right? At like,
Yeah,
at
a
like,
good
at like
semester.
a good
You learn
semester.
some stuff.
And then give them a camera and a budget. And it's like, okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to make the first like 35 minutes either like fucking exposition or like literally pointing out everywhere there's going to be a scare. Oh, you see how these lights turn off like that? There's going to be a scare there. You see how this like there's like this weird downstairs area? There's going to be a scare there. It's like
That's
so
unfortunate.
by the books filmmaking, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's the worst part about it.
You know what the problem is, or at least what bothers me most about what you just said,
What?
is that that's not the case though for these filmmakers. Probably most of them. It's not like they just went to one semester.
No, these are like
These
yeah.
are people that like are making their careers. They're like professionals. They literally have a budget, and then they make something like that.
This is the worst horror movie I've seen this year.
That's so upsetting.
This was like this year's version of Wish Upon from last year. Like where I'm like, ooh,
And meanwhile, Guillermo del Toro still can't get those movies made.
right? God.
God.
But onto horror news.
So wait a minute.
No
we
horror
have to
news, no?
figure out that structure there because I already did the horror news.
Yeah,
news.
I
shtick.
know we did.
Don't you mess me up like that. Give the people what they want. Oh, he's texting. Oh my God. The fact that you are taking airtime to text.
Airtime. Bitch, this is not live.
One day, though, I'm going to have my own radio show again.
Okay. First piece of horror news. This is actually coming from an email I got specifically.
Oh, he's so official.
Remember we talked about like they're doing like the sequel to Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
I've been on their email list, and they have a Kickstarter going for like a Night of the Living Dead themed party pack, which is basically them just trying to make money, like pulling shit out of their ass. And like they're like trying to bribe people who are on the subscribe list. Is like, if you join our if you like pledge to our Kickstarter, you get extra stuff like a free T-shirt and John Russo autographs and shit that like I don't care about.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it's called Living Dead Media. That's the name of this group. Is that they are calling it Night of the Living Dead Part 2. That's how they're referring to it.
That's the name of the movie.
That's going to be the name of the movie. And it's going to have like the original. I'm sure you're not here. All right, I'm going to read this paragraph that's really weird. Quick word on us, Living Dead Media. LDM was formed to both serve the fan bases of the Living Dead movies and to work with and for the original filmmakers and the actors to ensure they benefit directly from everything we do, which I guess is a noble case because, like, you know, they fucked up the rights. That's why that movie was like public domain, like from like the start.
Yeah.
In terms of the original Night of the Living Dead film, I'm sure you're not surprised to hear that George A. Romero and the actors have made very little off the films. It is not licensed by us or Image 10. The actors and Romero's aren't getting to benefit from it. That's one of the reasons we're so exciting. Oh, wow, there's a lot of spelling errors in this. I'm like trying to do my best. I guess they've been excited about this new Part 2 film. The original creators will directly benefit from its success. I don't know how I feel about this. Also, especially because they're based in LA and like nowhere near like Pittsburgh, like which is like Romero land.
It sounds like they need a new writer.
It
for
sounds
email
like
marketing,
they not
so,
only
hey-o.
need some marketing people, but they need
them my way.
I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to. I don't know. We'll see. It feels weird.
What, you
For
think it's
an
like a cash grab kind of thing?
Literally 50-year-old movie to do a sequel to it is like sounds like a cash grab, and it's like nice, like, oh, they're gonna benefit from it, but also like I feel like John Russo would like play a game like that, being like, oh no, but we're gonna make money off of this. Don't you love us from the original? And just kind of make like a cash grab film because like I don't know, John Russo is kind of seedy in my opinion.
Like it surely doesn't seem like the
I don't
quality.
trust John Russo.
it seems like the quality. I mean, it's not that there's anything on it yet, but
Right.
this is not a great start.
Yeah, this is not a good start, especially if they're trying to do like these cash grabs, like, oh, it's the Night of the Living Dead party pack, and like you spend $25 for like some napkins and like a deck of playing cards.
Is that
It's
true?
like, yeah.
I mean, every Kickstarter
looked
has
at-
stuff like that.
I looked
though.
at, but that's like what they're selling. It's not to fund it. It's literally just like this is the way we're selling them, and the money is going to kind of go towards the movie. But the movie is rarely mentioned. It's mostly like, hey, buy our stuff through Kickstarter.
Interesting.
Yeah. Weird. It just tastes weird to me.
Kind of tangy.
Kind of tangy. Second piece of horror news. We missed out on this. We're fools.
Oh, I am so angry about this.
Good news is though, we're both talking about the house that Jack built,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Okay. The director's cut will be on VOD the day that the movie actually comes out. So you can buy the director's cut on VOD the 14th.
So the news is, can I break this one?
Sure.
Doug and I completely forgot that the one-day only screening of the Jack That House Built, Lars von Trier's or Trier's
The Jack that house built? Nice.
Did I say that? The
Yeah.
house that Jack built, director's cut, which is like supposedly like really, really brutal.
That's the one that they showed at Cannes.
Can. Yeah, screw you and your freaking pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed it. I think I texted you at the same time that you kind of realized it.
Yeah, I realized like 20 minutes before, and I was just kind of sitting there meditating. I'm like, yeah, wow, shit, that was today, huh? 28th.
I don't know how like it slipped because I feel like we talked about it. We were
And
gonna
fucking-
go.
If we went to IFC Center in the city, every single screening had Matt Dillon there.
Like Matt Dillon was like just chilling.
Was there like to introduce it and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. We could have met him. We could have talked about The Outsiders with him.
I could have reminded him about my mom.
He's in Factotum.
Huh?
It's a movie based on one of Bukowski's books. Actually, my favorite of Bukowski's novels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
It's better than fucking Barfly with Mickey Rourke. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. I like Mickey Rourke, and that movie's all right.
It's better than Barfly.
Anyway, that's cool to know that it's going to be on VOD.
Yeah.
Like when it was, it's like wide release when the movie is
the
out.
wide release is December 14th, or as wide as a Lars von
Yeah, I was
Trier
gonna
movie is
say,
gonna get.
Not really all that wide.
Yeah.
All right, it's a date then. You and I.
Yeah, come
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
Hang out, watch a movie. It's for purchase only too. I think they're gonna do it. It's not gonna be for rent, so you're gonna have to digitally buy it, which I'll do. I want to see
I'll
that
put
cut.
some money down. We'll split it.
I heard
Even though
something
you'll
about
own all of it if I come here.
Yeah, there's gonna be some animal abuse in that movie, like simulated animal abuse. I heard there's some really rough stuff.
And for the record, I'm not a fan of his.
Oh, I love Antichrist. We're gonna do it for the show.
I'm not a fan of Lars von whatever.
Oh, we're gonna do Antichrist. You don't like
all.
Melancholia? Melancholia is so good.
Okay, look, when we talk about Lars von Trier, we talk about like the things that he's done that is just kind of like graphic and out there and transgressive. Like I'm not a fan of that. It does nothing for me. I feel like it's just BS, and that's what a lot of people were saying about this movie too.
That's how I feel about Gaspar Noé.
I feel that way
Although
about
I
him
am
too.
really excited about Climax,
But
which I heard is not like that at
right,
all.
that
I heard
movie.
it's just nuts. I heard it's just like
Yeah.
drug fueled craziness.
yeah, but for some reason I don't know something about like this movie. Maybe it's just that it's Matt Dillon. Maybe that the trailer was done so well. It looks kind of interesting.
I forgot who did the review. It might have been Vice. Did the film review and called it like basically his like masterpiece.
Yeah, if we're talking about him, yeah. In his
Von
like
Trier.
right in Von Trier's like whole filmography, yeah, it's a masterpiece maybe, but that doesn't mean like in film, it's a masterpiece.
We'll
You
see.
know what I mean?
We'll see. Antichrist is really good.
I
though.
hate him. I hate him. Anyway,
Oh my god. So the MPAA, what I was gonna say about the house that Jack built is the MPAA is really pissed.
oh, they're mad.
Oh, they are really upset.
fining him.
I'm scared. Yeah, I don't know. Like this is setting a weird precedent. I didn't know the MPAA had that much power.
They have too much.
That freaks me out.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're fining them because it was released too close to. Is
Yeah.
that what the deal was?
Their whole thing is about like you can't release like a director's cut or unrated cut
right.
so close to the actual release date of the movie.
Mhm.
I don't know what the actual duration of time is. I didn't even know that was a rule. It's a kind of dumb one. But yeah. So they're
There's-
fighting for that.
Yeah, there's some weird. I was actually listening to a podcast. Shout out to what is it? It's called Toxic Schlock, I think is the name of the podcast. Cool little podcast with some bad audio design, but like they.
Oh,
kinda
like
talk
we're
to-
one to talk.
No, but like it's rough. but they have some. They bring on like musicians and stuff. They had like Jeremy Boehm of Touche Amore,
Hmm.
and they had a couple of the guys from the Menzingers on. And they were talking about Scream, and the MPA made them cut like certain really weird things from Scream, like when like Stu and Billy are like stabbing each other at the end.
Yeah.
They couldn't have any like blood emotion, quote unquote. Like they couldn't like show blood flying, and like when they kill the boyfriend, they couldn't show his face. Like I didn't know the MPA would get that specific and weird.
Yeah, they're really messed up. Did you ever watch that documentary on them?
No.
That's a really, really good movie.
What is that?
I'll try to find it. I forget I think it's like this. Let me look it up. MPAA documentary.
I thought we were post the goddamn fucking code. I didn't know this was like the 50s.
This is still going on. This is still okay. So the name of the doc is this film is not yet rated.
Mm.
That's the name of it, and it kind of shows you. I mean, this was like from 2006, so I kind of like to think that things have changed quite a bit, but it is still pretty freaking revealing of what they do and how much power they have. It's stupid.
Fair, yeah. So we'll see how this affects movies in the future. I don't know if it's really gonna affect movies in the future. I think maybe I'm just like now aware of like what they can do. I didn't know they could fine you like that. I didn't know they had that much like.
Yeah.
I thought it was mostly just like a suggestive thing at this point. Is like.
I mean, in reality, I think yeah, it kind of is just like it's for audiences. It's like yeah, okay, whatever. It's rated R, but
We snuck into so many R-rated movies like in high school. Like not, I don't know me and you, we never, but like.
Yeah.
Like me and my friends, like I remember going to see like Harold and Kumar, like the Christmas one, and we bought tickets to the Muppets instead, and we would just walk into a different theater and see that movie instead. Like,
I think the
it doesn't
most
really stop anything at all, except unless you're like a Baptist family who like thinks that like fucking like Flashdance is like a horror movie or something. Or,
the
like,
one
Footloose.
movie I really remember seeing that was like rated R, and I was like what I guess 16 maybe was Bruno.
Oh my! I saw Bruno with my mom.
Yeah, I saw it with my brother.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to see it with my mom.
Dick's just swinging.
That scene.
I saw American Wedding with my mom too.
That's probably uncomfortable too a little bit.
Yeah, I saw some uncomfortable ones. Me and my stepdad saw a lot of horror movies together, so I got to see like the remake of Halloween and Friday the 13th, like as they came out in theaters.
I saw The Heartbreak Kid with my mom. That was uncomfortable.
That's a good movie though. I like that movie.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I like that movie.
It's alright.
It's fun.
It's
I
okay.
like something about Mary. I like that kind of comedies. I like those.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Friends, so
Friends. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm sort of into that like late 90s, early 2000s, like hey, rom com with a little bit of edge to it.
Friends is good. I like
Friends is good.
Yeah,
I like Friends,
it's all
right? Come on. This podcast supports Friends.
I wish I had some.
Jordan Peele.
Wait, you giving me that look?
We're going to we're going to the next what?
I don't know. I didn't like
we're
it.
Gonna...
What the fuck was that look?
I give you that look every time I say anything for horror news.
You're like Jordan Peele. You'll know. You like this guy. What? He's like you.
You must know him, right?
What the fuck?
You took that wrong. You took that so wrong. I give you that look for every piece of horror news.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh my god. Fuck you.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't know. It freaked me out.
Jordan Peele's Candyman movie. Confirmed. Set for 2020. He's not directing, he's producing. But it's going to be sort of like a pseudo sequel. It's going to be directed by Nia DaCosta, who I don't really know. And Jordan Peele's going to be doing the screenplay too. That's going to be cool. I'm really excited for it. I love the original. I can't wait to do it for the show now that the Blu-ray is out.
Yes.
Which I haven't gotten because I'm stupid. But
no,
I will be getting it.
Spending your money on other things,
mostly guitar
like
gear,
music gear.
A lot of music gear. But yeah.
Is that horror news?
That's basically horror news. Oh, check out Voorhees, the trailer for Voorhees, another one of those Friday the 13th fan films coming out. I obviously like they are really low budget. I really almost always hate the acting in these because it's not played like a trauma movie where it's like we know we're bad actors, so we're gonna act really bad. It's like, hey, I'm trying, but I'm still like bad.
That's the worst part.
But
the trying part.
I love the punk spirit of like fuck you. You're not going to make another one of these movies. You're going to have this like rights issues. We're going to make these movies. We're still doing this Jason content.
Language.
And it's about I think like they do like a robbery and then a hostage situation, and then they're like hiding out in Crystal Lake, and they don't know that like Jason's there, and then Jason hunts them down.
Ooh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, right? Like, and that's what's cool is like they're always going to like follow this formula if you keep letting like the studio make them.
Mm-hmm.
But like any kind of cool idea you have, you can do. Which, you know, I resonate with, considering that
I
like
can't wait.
the thing that I want to
I
do more than
cannot
anything
wait
else
for
is make
you to make
a fan film, a fucking Friday the
no,
13th
not
fan
even
film?
like that. The one that you really want to
Like the
make.
one-
like,
yeah,
if
that-
they give
that-
you the rights and stuff,
I wish
that's
told-
your dream, but
I-
it's as much my dream. I
one of-
want that for you.
one of the last things I ever told my dad before I stopped speaking to him is that I would, if they said you can do one thing in your life and then you're gonna have to die immediately after it's completed, you get one goal,
Yeah.
it would be to make that movie. I want to make my Friday the 13th so bad.
I want you. I want you. To
It's
do
so
it. My
fucking bad.
God.
So today we're talking about John Carpenter's 1982 film The Thing.
Here is the synopsis from IMDb. Not sponsored. A research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims.
Yeah.
Wow. That's it in a fucking bow tie. Bow tie?
If there was a to the point synopsis for a to the point movie,
Just a bow. Okay, sorry. Go on.
I don't know what you said,
I
man.
floundered. I messed up.
Oh,
I said it's wrapped up in a nice bow tie. I'm like, wait, it's not. It's just a bow. It's just got a bow on it.
that's good content.
We're gonna start over on that one.
No.
We're keeping that.
No, we're keeping
Okay.
that. Okay. So, besides being directed by John Carpenter, this movie is full of some huge, huge talent. Big names on this one.
I'll say.
We've got director of photography, Dean Cundy, personal hero of mine.
Yes, he is.
Not only shot Halloween, but most notably shot all three Back to the Futures and Jurassic Park. And I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but he might have. No, he didn't shoot E.T. What am I saying? He was shooting this when E.T. was happening. He shot something else. Something else really important, too.
Apollo
13. Yeah, another
13.
one of those, like...
Oh,
yeah.
he did one of my faves.
What?
Childhood faves.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, I love that movie.
I think he did that.
Casper is what I was talking about.
He shot Casper? That's
Yeah.
cool.
I love that movie. Yeah, so that's one big name.
Music by Ennio Morricone. Arguably the greatest, film composer of all time.
Certainly one of them.
Yeah, it's either him or John Williams, so...
Okay.
What?
That's not what this show is about. We're not gonna. I
No,
mean, I don't
no.
know. I'll say that for later, but I disagree. But
We've got special effects by Rob Bottin, who was Rick Baker's kind of protege. Also worked on The Hunger and The Fog. This is kind of his big film, is The Thing.
cool.
Yeah.
This is 82, right?
82.
Yeah.
And he's like 20, 21, 22 when he's doing all the effects for this movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And obviously stars Kurt Russell, Keith David, Wilfred Brimley, etc.
Etc.
At all.
I was wondering when you were gonna get to Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
because man, this is a good
Kurt
role for
Russell's
him.
like the least important thing about this movie.
His beard. That's probably the first.
His beard is really nice.
That's a good beard.
Yeah, I don't like him with a beard like that though.
No, I'm all about
No,
it.
man, I like him with a little bit of that Snake Plissken scruff, Escape from New York scruff. That's the
Yeah.
same beard. He was. I listened to the commentary and he was talking about that.
He's got some good beard too, or facial hair, and what is it? Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
That's some wild stuff.
Yeah,
And I think that's his.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They put Kurt Russell in the snow again.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I
With
was
a
watching
beard.
it. All right. So.
Oh, Lindsay's getting a hot dog. She just texted me.
Oh, good. Shout out to Linz and that hot dog. Vegan it is.
Probably.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I imagine. So get into what I thought of it, because I know you're gonna ask me. Go ahead and ask me.
No, I don't think I care this time, man.
Oh, what?
Nah, I'm not feeling that one, Chief.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the
Nah,
episode.
come on. What did you think of it?
So,
Well, first,
oh,
how many Carpenter movies? What from Carpenter have you seen prior to this?
okay. Halloween.
Mm.
They Live.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I didn't watch The Ward. I watched like the first few minutes of it. I never really watched it.
Eek.
Is that it?
Might
I
be.
don't know, I
You've never
think.
seen The Fog or like Assault
Mm-mm.
on Precinct 13.
I saw Assault remake.
That's
so-
not him.
Yeah, no.
Wow, this is only your third. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to, because I was thinking of that too as I was watching. I even looked back at his filmography. I was like, man, I'm really slacking on Carpenter stuff.
Mhm.
Is that I still can't believe that to be true, but I guess it is. But anyway, I think this was a very, very, very engaging kind of movie. There's like some mystery going on, but like that almost, I wouldn't say takes a back seat as much as it's not like a whodunit. It's not like a caper. It's not like trying to figure something out. It's just more about survival than anything. And it was I thought it was going to be campy. I was afraid that it was going to be campy because it starts off literally with a flying saucer, like the most
Yeah.
generic looking UFO you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it starts off with that. I'm like, shit, like I was expecting
It's
something
gonna
a
be
little
like
bit more.
like Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Like-
But it's no, it was really, really good. I think I kind of enjoyed it more than I have any of his other or the other two movies that I've seen. They Live, I'm a big fan of. Halloween, obviously, it's a big deal. I'm a big fan of that one too, but I think this movie just might take it right now as my favorite of John Carpenter's.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
This is really good. It surprised me.
Do you know anything about like the background of this movie at all? What
Uh,
happened to
no.
this movie?
Like next to nothing.
Oh my god, this movie tanked.
Yeah.
Tanked.
Wow.
Yeah, and like considering that this is like huge, like a huge, incredibly influential movie now, it almost had like even more of a revival than like The Shining did, because The Shining still made money.
Yeah.
This movie tanked. It was a critical and commercial failure.
Wow.
Everybody hating this. Just I forgot. I think what fucking magazine? Cinefantastique.
Hmm.
I think like called this at the time the most hated horror film of all time.
Why
They wrote
though?
think pieces about that.
Like I can maybe understand why like audiences didn't like it, but like
Ni-
critics,
nihilistic tone, like disgusting effects,
yes, very.
and I guess just like the whole dour attitude the movie has. Not only were we like in this weird period of like this came out 2 weeks after E.T. First of all, this came out 2 weeks after E.T.
Okay.
So everybody's real hot on aliens right now.
Yeah.
Really, we love
And
we
really
love the
happy,
aliens.
friendly,
We love the
family-friendly.
happy, friendly
Yeah.
space invaders. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, this is a far cry from that.
But yeah, I just don't think people were ready for this. I think this is a movie that was like really ahead of its time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that really stuck out to me is that as I was watching it, like this looks like it could easily just have been made not too long ago. You know, we said like on a previous episode, American Werewolf, the effects, like just it still holds because it's really good practical effects,
Especially on this.
Yeah. And on top of that, I feel like just the storytelling, the narrative, the pacing of it, there's never like this like, you know, like a kitschy kind of campy, this is of this era, like it's not like an 80s movie, it doesn't
Right.
stick out, like this movie is just timeless.
Mhm.
It's very, very a very well told story.
Yeah.
And beautifully shot too, so
Deceptively simple, I would say.
Mhm.
Um,
So that's really strange that it just tanked. I don't understand that at all.
I think it's.
I mean, aside from like the ET thing, but like, I don't know.
I forgot what Carpenter really blames it on. I think Carpenter really blames it on like the effects.
Because it's
Gross
really
out.
nasty. I
think
gotta say, I was
it's-
eating and that
it's
was a
g-
mistake.
It's got to be like I think it's like the nihilism of it. I think people just couldn't respond to something like that.
I don't.
So bleak. It's the first in his like quote unquote apocalypse trilogy,
Mhm.
which works as a trilogy the same way like Guadagnino's like Desire trilogy works, where they don't tie in, but it's a similar theme.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like apocalyptic events and apocalyptic, like the beginning of the apocalypse. I guess.
So, what are the other movies? Is that like
Uh,
Escape?
No. Prince of Darkness and In the Mouth of Madness. Not in that order. Which we'll do as a double feature next year sometime.
Is that not the one that you?
Gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
because I got
supposed to not watch it?
Yeah, don't watch it yet.
Damn.
Watch
okay.
it. Watch it for the show when that comes up.
Dear
Now you
God.
don't have to worry about borrowing my super
Here,
cool
I'll have a copy.
Scream Factory collector's
Oh
edition.
yeah, and breaking it. And you mentioned like the nihilism part. I don't know if I feel that. I don't
Dark.
see nihilism.
Well, how do you
in
read?
there.
Well, how do you read the ending?
Yeah, it's pretty bleak. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they're both dead. Spoiler alert.
Well,
I feel everyone's
even
dead,
there
I
is
guess.
like there's like the possibility of one of them being the Thing.
Mhm.
That's a hotly debated thing. That was
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
you know, it's like, okay, who's the Thing? Is like
Mm-hmm.
some people think, oh well, Kurt Russell hands him the bottle, and so that's like him transferring his thingness over.
Mm-hmm.
But also like there's a whole
Thingness.
thing that you see in when they're all tied to the chairs, which is like one of the best scenes like ever, like fucking ever.
So freaking good.
But you there's a thing that Dean Cundy pointed out, which is that the one who's the one that is the Thing in that scene. Is this Windows? Is that his name?
Windows, no. Windows, no.
No, Windows is the one who gets attacked by
Uh-huh.
that thing. But the guy who's the Thing is the only one who they don't light with a gleam in his eye. They don't light his eyes.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
and you don't see that gleam in Keith David's character at the end.
Okay.
But also there's a whole thing of where
It's like what? Like literally when they're sitting by the whole, fire of it? Like the whole thing's blown up? Like where's the light going to come from? Maybe it's just more of a practical reason.
well, everybody on the movie, like nobody has a definitive opinion. Everybody's like, yeah, we left it up to that. Even Kurt Russell and Carpenter are like, yeah, we don't know. We can't decide. It's up to you.
I
It's
didn't.
specifically ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that after.
But people
I
want
watched
to
the movie.
theorize, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw some of the theories and stuff. I'm gonna knock this over. Let me move this. I saw that, and it didn't occur to me at all that like one of them could be the Thing. I just figured like they had done it, and that they were kind of I would say sacrificing. They're not purposely sacrificing themselves. They're just screwed.
Mhm.
But they did sacrifice their livelihood to make sure that this thing doesn't get anywhere. Doesn't move on to the rest of society.
Mhm.
And that's also why I didn't look at it as a nihilist kind of movie, because it was that selflessness. It was that need to survive. If it was nihilist, if it was completely bleak, then like, I don't know, everyone would have just killed each other. Like, but they all banded together trying to figure out who's the Thing, try to work on it.
Banded
There was so
together.
camaraderie.
There's so much paranoia.
There's a lot of it.
That's the whole point. Is it's
There's a lot of it.
paranoia. Well, when Carpenter talks about this movie, what he talks about is reflecting on the paranoia of the time. And that's why I think this movie feels timeless now, is because we really haven't gotten any better. I think if we come together and create some kind of utopia, we're going to go, ridiculous. No, we would have figured that out. But
Yeah.
we are still kind of in the same state as a society. And remember, like I said in the last episode, we live in a society.
That we do.
We're still in sort of the same state where nobody trusts each other, and there's always somebody telling you that somebody's trying to get you. You know what I mean? It works on a political level, on a personal level. People don't even trust themselves. There's so much paranoia. There's so much fear, and ultimately that's what Carpenter was kind of playing on, is that fear of fearing thy neighbor.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not. It's not like I completely missed the whole movie and think that like they're banding together like buddies. No, there was a lot of paranoia, a lot of like looking over your shoulder. I just feel like more so at the end, when they kind of like were mainly it's during and after the being tied to the chair scene. They all realize like, okay, the only way we're gonna get out of this is like if we figure out who the fuck it is, who's the Thing. That to me is like shows that there is possibility for unity and working with one another, even in like especially in dire situations.
I would say that's rather working out of like a mutual self-interest.
Of not dying.
Yeah, of like, I don't want it to be me who gets burned up by this flamethrower. And then that brings in the whole like, well, I think I'm not the Thing. I know I'm not the Thing, but am I not the Thing? Does the Thing know it's the Thing until it reacts?
Right.
Which is something they even play with in like in the really, really bad 2011 like prequel, where like even at the end, like the last character who's the Thing, like you don't even see them as the Thing. It's just like Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character is like, no, you're the Thing. I'm gonna burn you up, and it's like, and the character, the actor is like, no, and then as it's getting burned up, you don't even see it transform or anything. You just hear like like it's creepy noise. So they play with that like whole like the Thing doesn't really need to do that kind of wah like
it doesn't need to transform.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in this one, in the not even really the OG version, because even this, right,
is a sort of a remake. Yeah. There's a real hot debate, whereas like people were like, oh, the Thing's a remake. No, it's just like another adaptation of the same of the same story, because it's nothing like the Howard Hawks version. The Howard Hawks version doesn't deal with like a transformation thing. It's like literally like an 8-foot giant man
Oh,
It's almost like a Frankenstein running through.
so then
Yeah.
it can't be.
No, I would call The Fly more of a like people are like the thing's the best remake of all time. I would say The Fly would count more as a remake than that.
Do you know where they shot this at?
Yeah, most of the interiors are on a soundstage in LA. Was actually shot, funnily enough, about like a quarter mile down the road from where they were shooting Blade Runner, which was also like a weirdly received film.
Now, if you want to talk about nihilism,
Blade Runner?
yeah.
No, you want to talk about
that's
no,
more
no,
existentialism,
the,
maybe.
The book is more. You've read, right?
I have not.
Really? Oh my god.
Philip K.
Hey,
Dick.
Yes. Anybody out there who hasn't, it's like super like a high school book, but like definitely check out Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Because it's like, even having read it like while I was in college, like incredibly like just a fulfilling book.
Yeah.
If there's one thing like you're just like, this is a bleak, sad fucking book.
Oh yeah.
But you feel fulfilled. Like you read something that you got something out of. It's wonderful.
For what it's
Philip
worth,
K.
I feel
Dick
like
is
a
great.
lot of high school books are like that. Like we equate them to like, oh yeah, that's high school curriculum, but a lot of those books that we have to read during those years are like pretty much cornerstones of like culture and literature.
Says the guy whose like personality type is like, I like The Great Gatsby and
Catcher in the Rye is what you're meant to say. I
Both
do
of
like The Great
those.
Gatsby,
Both
but
of those.
yes, The Catcher in the Rye is a fucking fantastic book.
I'm gonna in your sleep one day. I'm gonna tattoo 12th grade lit just on your fucking.
Do it. That's what I'm writing anyway.
But anyway, yeah, the exteriors are shot, in British Columbia, and there's actually, a lot of the like even like those early shots like of those mountains, those beautiful, beautiful shots in the beginning, and some of that helicopter work was all done in Juneau, Alaska, and they all like camped with like these people tracing weather patterns.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, to get those shots.
It looks dope.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. Like it's some of Dean Cundy's best work.
It
It's
looked
a
really
widescreen,
good.
baby.
I even started thinking, I was like, man, like logistically, like how do you pull this shoot off? Like just being out there like in the snow, having to deal with like setting up, having the actors, this and that. Like that sounds like I was thinking specifically because of The Hills Have Eyes, where they told Wes Craven like shoot in the desert because it's like easy and it's cheaper to shoot out there.
Right.
I'm like, this has got to be the total opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like shooting in the fucking snow in the mountains, that must be hell.
You know, it's surprising because this is actually John Carpenter's first studio film. It's like a Universal movie, which is cool because you don't see the Universal logo.
I
just
noticed
right? Isn't
that.
fucking
It
cool?
was so cool. I was like
Right?
that. Like I wondered if he had like enough like I don't know weight to his name that he could do that. Like
I don't know
there
whose
aren't that many
decision that
movies that
was.
do that.
He did say that like Universal was basically just willing to do whatever he wanted. I think they just wanted this movie made.
Yeah,
I think they were trying to cash off of like Alien.
and
Alien
there's a
is-
lot of
is
alien
79,
aspects
right?
to this.
Alien is 79 or 78?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's 79.
I'll find out for you.
But yeah, even like if you see the poster, it says like the ultimate in alien terror. And that was because the producers just wanted to get the word alien on there.
Yeah, that's actually something that like I kind of wrote, not that literally, but I wrote down that this is basically just like Alien taking place on Earth instead.
Yeah.
Like the whole same concept of like in space, no one can hear you scream. Like in here, out here, there's nobody around.
Yeah.
So this is just going to shit for these people only.
I love that sort of like weird like alternative take on like a haunted house movie. That's why I love Aliens so much. I love that isolated. I love like certain group of people, shit's going down, they're getting picked off one by one. I guess that's what I like about slashers, and I've sort of grown out of that and watched more mature versions of that kind of story. But like I really love that. I love isolation in films. I love that like there's just something picking us off.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. And the thing I kind of maybe I'm going through that. I wouldn't maybe at a slower rate than you, or since I'm newer, like I'm just kind of going through the stages, similar stages as you, where I've really loved slasher. Like even when I didn't like horror all that much, I would watch slasher mainly because psychologically I'd be like, okay, if I was in this situation, I would do things differently so that I could survive, right? And now like as I'm, we're doing the show, I'm watching more horror. I'm realizing I kind of want to grow out of that, but still not lose that whole isolation. Like you're screwed. It's you against this whatever evil it is, survival thing.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's something that really resonated with me in this movie too.
I'm going to say it now. because you're not gonna like what I'm about to say.
Oh my god.
If this podcast is still happening this summer,
If.
July, we're gonna do an episode a week. It's gonna be the summer of slashers. We're doing it. We're doing
Just for July.
Just for July.
Okay.
4 slasher
Because
movies.
because behind the scenes, I want to let the listeners know right now. We literally had this conversation maybe 3 days ago or less than that. I was like, Doug, we're never gonna do like weekly, right? He's like, no, we shouldn't.
No.
And now
no,
he springs
no,
this on
no,
me
no, no,
on
no.
air.
Excuse me. That's not how that conversation went.
Basically, I got to the root of
you
it.
You were like, dude, I'm gonna make so much money, and we're gonna do so much for this podcast. We're gonna do it every week.
See, now
We
you're
have so many
changing it
listeners.
again. Now you're changing it.
And
I said we're gonna make so much money. We're gonna
gonna
monetize the
we're gonna
podcast,
monetize the
and then we're gonna do
podcast.
it every week.
And we're gonna do it every week. And I
You
was
make
like,
me sound
we're
like
never gonna do this every week.
such an asshole.
But yeah, we're gonna do it in July. Expect an episode a week.
Yeah, we haven't agreed
We're
on
gonna do
that, so we'll see.
We're gonna do the burning. We're gonna do sleepaway
That doesn't
camp.
matter. We're talking about the thing right now.
We're gonna do just before dawn.
So one thing that I liked about this movie a lot more than just about everything else that we've watched so far.
Everybody's gonna think that was a cut, and that totally wasn't a cut, and that's sick.
That's just me. That's just me cutting you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I liked so much more about this movie than everything else is that for once I actually see some color in this damn movie. We got 2 black people in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding me?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Thank God. And one guy's on roller skates. It's amazing. It's so good. I'm honestly trying to think back if any of the movies that we've seen so far
Have had 2 black
have
people
had
in them?
any. I can't even think of what movie that we've done that would.
What movies have we done?
I'll go through them, baby. So there's obviously the very first one, which is,
Dead Alive.
and then Rosemary's
No black
Baby,
people. No black people.
Fright Night,
No black people.
definitely not. Texas Chainsaw,
No
nothing.
black people.
Hellraiser, not that I
Nope,
can remember.
no,
I don't think
no.
so. Jennifer's Body, maybe in the background as an extra
Mhm.
because it's high school. Society, definitely
No,
not.
Definitely not.
The Witch, nope, nothing. What else? Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, no
Nope.
black friends. Blair Witch Project, they wouldn't be that stupid to go into the woods like that. So no. The Descent, they did.
No, Juno was Asian.
Okay, that's true. That is true. I'll give him that. Child's Play,
Nope.
you did The Nun. Suspiria,
No. No.
XX. That was the one that I got stumped on, but I don't think there were any.
Mm-mm.
And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about like Latino people
People
too. I want to represent both sides of my family here.
Sure.
Hell House 1 and 2,
Nope.
nothing. Halloween 3, nothing. American Werewolf, nothing.
Nothing. Wow.
Does Have Eyes, nothing.
Wow.
It took
Damn.
us until this episode to finally and again, like I said, The Descent. You're right. We do have an Asian woman in there,
Wow.
and she's
I
badass
didn't-
in that
I didn't
movie,
even
too.
Realize that. Holy shit.
but yeah. So thank God.
We're gonna make up for it.
Yes,
Another 20 episodes
Uh-huh.
when we do our big blaxploitation and horror.
that I agree with.
feature.
That I'll join
That's gonna
you.
be sick.
If that was weekly, I can agree to that one. But yeah,
Well, no, that's gonna be like the Cronenberg episodes. That's gonna be like 10 movies in 3 episodes.
oh, I don't know about all that.
Oh hell yeah, baby, we're doing it again.
But as much as that conversation kind of happens a lot now, and I'm not gonna harp on this too much because it's not really all that relevant. But I will say that it is nice to kind of just see some more representation. For I don't know what kind of reason, like it just inherently, like it felt good to see some like characters that are not white in the freaking movie.
and for one to survive.
And for one to survive, yes, hell yeah, absolutely. So it's so good. I don't know what it is.
Does Keith David die in They Live?
Oh shit. I don't know. It's been a minute since
It's
I've
been
seen
a minute since I've seen it too. Holy shit!
it. But yeah, no, good stuff. Good on fucking John Carpenter.
Catch our new
whoever the
bonus,
casting director
bonus
is.
series, Retro Rewind. The first episode's gonna be They Live,
What the heck is Retro Rewind?
like a movie we've both seen but haven't seen in a really long time.
Dear God. Too many
I
projects.
just want to make so many podcasts with you, man. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a good point though. Shame on us.
I guess I'll take some of the blame for that too.
Yeah, hey.
I'm the new one to this, so
Sure.
Mhm.
I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. Like, I got that,
Well, I
problematic.
wonder why.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Hey, at least you called this out before somebody else did.
Oh, I believe me. There was no way that was gonna get past me. Yeah.
Oh boy. What else? So yeah, this like I said, this tanked, and this is a really interesting turning point in Carpenter's career. This is at a point where, like, this is his first big studio movie, and for it to go like this is also, like, according to him, the hardest to shoot. Clearly, clearly. He was at work on Firestarter, which he was actually fired on because of this. Did so poorly, and then he went on to do Christine, which I think was the better choice. I mean, I guess having seen what Firestarter became, and then seeing Christine, which I think like might be the most Carpenter-esque film
out of
all of them.
It's
the most Carpenter score, definitely. Like, it's like when people talk about the Carpenter sound, listen to that Christine score, because that's it.
Yeah, you mentioned that once.
Also, like, you talk about like having this like American like rock and roll root to it, which is like so him.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Stephen King collaboration, which just makes so much sense.
I was gonna say Stephen King's involved in that, and
well, he wrote the book.
Okay, that's what I was gonna. I didn't want to sound stupid. I was like, that is Stephen King, isn't it?
Yeah, like the three things I have signed by Carpenter: Halloween, The Thing, and Christine, for a good reason, because that is like Carpenter. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's another
Christine.
Horror movie, or
yeah. Christine is about a killer car, a killer 1958 cherry red Plymouth Fury.
Interesting.
Which, as a kid, I always wanted. That was like the first car I ever wanted, just because I was a big Stephen King head.
Well, maybe I can get my hands on more Carpenter, but maybe not that one.
Imagine a world where Carpenter became like really big, even in his late career, like post '86, like post like Big Trouble in Little China.
Big like
imagine like this, if this was a success.
Yeah.
And he just kept climbing and making huge, like
budget
it's like
kind of movies.
Yeah, it's like unheard of. You know what I mean? Like, name another director who was like on that scale, who like really made it like that. I can't think of one.
So you're saying on
horror,
that scale, right? So that on that scale of like what, like mastery of like filmmaking?
Yeah,
not necessarily.
And like if he made money for Universal with this movie, they would have given him more. Some other studio would have given him more.
I don't know
would that have?
Is that necessarily true though? Because think like what is it? Guillermo del Toro. He just tweeted that thing not too long ago about how many scripts fully finished things that he has not been produced. And he is. I was going to point him out as like a director who is not only a master of what he does, but also pretty renowned.
But he doesn't. His movies don't make all that much money. He doesn't see returns.
He didn't when he did what was it, like Hellboy and all those?
Hellboy might have been the only one, like even the first, like not even the second.
Yeah, I would probably say the first, yeah.
But like Pan's Labyrinth was like, again, like it's not an English feature, so you can't,
And Shape of Water, I don't think really did all that well either. It was just,
I saw Shape of Water. There was like 3 people there. 2. One of them was a furry. That's not a person.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I saw. I saw Shape of Water with a furry in the theater, and in the same movie theater, saw Zootopia with 2 furries, not together.
And it's not like, you're just picking someone out. You're like, oh, that guy's definitely a furry.
No, it was
like they were dressed.
No, it wasn't like they had the full fursuit on. It was like they had like the ears and like the little tail they clip on. I always see a lot of them in Barnes and Noble too. I guess Clifton. It was at the Clifton movie theater, so I guess maybe Clifton has a really big furry community. It's a hot spot for furry activity. Let's go hunting.
Oh no, we're
this podcast takes a strong stance against furries.
At least one of them does. I don't have a stance. Like, do whatever you got to do, man. Whatever makes you happy.
Anyway, but yeah, like, to go back to the Carpenter thing, would that have hurt his career? Because he was a guy who worked his best on limitations. You look at The Fog, you look at, obviously, Halloween, you look at Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
And you see this is a guy who had to make do with a smaller budget. And that's like a theme that runs through a lot of great horror from, the 20th century. But, like, would that like if this paid off, would he have not had the career he did? Would he have had a better career? Like what like it's such a weird moment in time for horror in general, for Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that I'm thinking of right now is Saw. Right? The first one wasn't big budget at all. It was a pretty low maintenance kind of movie. It was awesome though. And it's probably, I don't know, I would say like the best one, or at least one of them. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen those movies too, but that one just was groundbreaking, it seemed like, in a way. And as it kept going, it became like this huge franchise. and James Wan became like this, you know, fucking
But James Wan walked away.
right.
His partner Lee Wanell didn't walk away.
He ended up like being a
and
director.
he at least writing them. I don't think did he direct any of them?
Did
I'm
he not? I
sure.
thought he did. No, it was
No,
a cinematographer. I remember someone started taking the helm.
No, but Lee Wanell, he kept writing the scripts.
Mm.
And he became like just recently with Upgrade that came out this year was the first time anybody had really talked.
I really wanted to see that.
I really want to see it too. It was like the first time his name really became like, oh, Lee Wanell did something cool.
Mm-hmm.
But James Wan, who walked away, still got to make interesting things. You know, he did The Conjuring and Insidious and whatnot. He's doing Aquaman now.
I guess so. I guess since
maybe if John Carpenter, if this stuck and he just got more, maybe he would have turned out like Lee Wanell. Like maybe he wouldn't have the legacy he does because the back half of his career is kind of weird, kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
But like also there's
kind of
really,
nerdy lame, I guess you would say.
But
or
it's I don't know. Like once he started putting electric guitars in his like fucking scores, like the movies really went downhill. Like Vampires, Jesus fuck. But like there's some great gems in there. Like In the Mouth of Madness, I love that movie. Prince of Darkness, I fucking love that movie. But like, was that just a product of him like falling out of love with the studio system? Or is there some kind of untapped potential that we never saw?
I guess I'm trying to be optimistic and say that like if this were to make bank all of a sudden for Universal, that like he wouldn't lose his kind of his craft necessarily, but I feel like it would start making more bloated movies. Like I feel like the problem, and we were talking about this with like Netflix today a little bit. I feel like it's gonna be harder for people to tell him no when you make money for a great studio like that. So then there's gonna be a lot less painstaking process of making a movie.
Well, it's pressure, I guess, too, to put out like something really great.
More pressure
to put out something really great?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe after a while, I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like you get too much like solid success like that, and like you just start becoming like you're like, oh, I made this, so on its merit, it's great.
Interesting.
I feel like that's almost how Spielberg works with movies now. That's why he's not up to.
Oh my god! Don't get me started. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Although he still works his ass off. I can't. Look, it's every movie he makes is still kind of a masterclass of filmmaking. It's just
he's a great.
A lot of them are fucking boring now.
Maybe that's what would have happened to John Carpenter.
He would have become like the Spielberg.
Yeah,
like how Spielberg
but of horror.
Now.
Yeah. But hey, luckily.
Instead, we got like Big Trouble in Little China, like 4 years after this, and that movie is nuts. And like They Live 2 years after that. We got some. It's not like this is where Carpenter's career ends. This is kind of almost the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just wonder like what could have been.
Yeah.
I just want to live in a world where he didn't make Escape from L.A.
I was thinking as I was watching this movie, I wanted to live in a world where he did what we kind of talked about when we did Halloween 3 rather, where imagine John Carpenter just kind of is having his hands on like certain anthology films or like doing scores for other people. You know, like I still kind of wish that was the case.
The only guy who tasted in any kind of horror, as far as I can think, who tasted success that big, that consistently, and still did it is Stephen King. Because even now, like I'm reading his most recent book, The Outsider, and it's fucking great.
Yeah,
like he's still like a fucking amazing like literary master.
Yeah, I gotta read him some more, I guess.
Oh God,
I know you're gonna get me to do it eventually.
Oh my God, our new podcast, Good Reading.
Speaking of, I wouldn't say reading, but like of words and stuff. I'm trying to tie it in.
Sure.
I have here a quote or 2 lines that I really really liked from the movie.
Sure.
I forget who says it to who. I should have wrote that down, but it's what if we're wrong? And the response is then we're wrong. It's like, how do you know this person really is a thing? Like, what do we do if we're wrong? We just end up murdering someone. But then the response is like, well, fuck it. At least like we know we're wrong. You know?
Yeah.
It's one less person to...
Was that during the blood test scene?
I feel like it was like before that. To be my bad. I feel like it was before that. To be honest. You know, I think that's something that happens earlier in the movie, where like there's just so much hysteria. People are trying to figure out what to do. McReady is like trying to like take lead a little bit here and there until like they finally make him a leader, to like go outside, figure out what's happening, investigate, do this and that, until finally he realizes let's get everybody in the same room. Like nobody's leaving my sight. When he's held up and everybody's trying to kill him, he's saying like nobody is like leaving my sight. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what you should have been doing from the first place.
Right.
But up until then, they're all scrambling, all trying to figure out the best route of action. So yeah, I think that's why the quote's kind of, to me, in my memory, happening before, because I feel like everything up until the chair scene, they were just grasping at straws.
You know what's funny about this movie is that normally horror works off of the characters not know what's going on, and this movie seems to, the paranoia really picks up once everybody figures out what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what separates this from other films. Is like they know, they're like, okay, so this is what it does. It imitates us. One of us is the thing. At least one of us.
Yeah.
What do we do? And like that is what creates that paranoia, rather than like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? We're dying off. Is everybody fucked up but me? Like,
Yeah.
It's really an interesting like flip of like the, like, I guess, base level.
And
I think horror is.
And I think that's why, like, I when I said earlier that like if it is a mystery, but it doesn't feel like a whodunit, it doesn't feel like some kind of noir or whatever, it's because like they know exactly what's happening. It's just they're just trying to figure out how to survive that, how to remove that danger from them. And you brought up a good point too. I forgot that like it's at least one of them. There could be more of them that have the thing with them. That's like when they're all around each other and he's about to like burn. MacReady's about to burn
like
something.
It's like a flare.
Yeah, and he's like, I know at least some of you are humans, because if all of you weren't, then you'd all be killing me right now.
Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like there's just so much about this movie. I got to say that like, this is like the first time that like I really want to go back and rewatch it like immediately. Like there were other movies that I know I wanted to watch like right after doing the show, but I have a feeling I'm gonna go back home and end up like just watching this again. Like it's so good. It's really, really well done. And I don't know. I'm in love with this movie. I'm glad we got to see it.
Aren't you glad they never made a sequel? I was thinking about that last night. I was like, wow, that's the one good thing that come out of this like not doing so well in the time, is there was no The Thing 2.
Yeah.
Imagine like, ooh, The Thing takes over New York City.
Ooh,
right. Like, no, you don't want that.
Yeah,
No, this is great as
it's such a perfect setting for this movie.
You know what would be the best fucking sequel though?
Oh, thank God they didn't make a sequel.
Here's the best fucking sequel.
What?
The Thing gets away, gets its spaceship, goes back to its planet, and it's been trapped in that ice for hundreds of thousands of years. And everything's fucked. And now you sympathize with the Thing because it's like a stranger in its own world. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, wow, I have so much empathy for this creature.
What?
Think of it. It's been frozen in the ice, right? That thing crashes prehistorically. They said that ice has been there for so long.
Right.
It's prior to like humanity.
Yeah.
Like imagine that thing got away and back to its planet. Because ultimately the Thing is just, it's not trying to take over the world. It's just trying to hide. It's just scared.
Right.
So like,
that's
the fear. If that got back to its planet, you think it's kind of lost. It's kind of fucked.
Oh my god, that's if it has like the same kind of consciousness or kind of relationship.
It's got to have some kind of consciousness. They have fucking flying saucers.
Oh my god, you're empathizing with this? Are you kidding me?
I felt so bad for it. I was thinking about. I was laying in bed last night. I was like, oh my god, I have so much. I'm so sad about the Thing.
I mean, I'm sad about the one that got away too, man.
Oh my god. You know, a lot of people thought this movie was about AIDS. Just like, oh, somebody's got it.
Yikes.
You don't know who. It's the early 80s. So
yeah,
like,
no, I can see that.
That's and that was like the first real theory about this movie is it's an AIDS movie.
That's gross.
But the script had already been
like
written.
that
Carpenter was already
putting that on there. I just realized what I said, but putting that kind of frame on this movie, it would make it really cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the gross part.
Carpenter was already working on the movie at that point, and he like as AIDS is becoming more prominent, talked about in the media, he's like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of like our movie, but it was never like a point to be like that.
That'd be so messed up.
Yeah. Also, and like you know when a director and an actor, they kind of flesh out the characters. Carpenter and Kurt Russell look at like MacReady as like an ex-Vietnam, like a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, there was something about like his air that was kind of like he's been through shit
That's
before.
that's what you think about. Like, why are these guys in Antarctica? They're not scientists. They're almost like a cleanup crew or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like, it is like that's why it's so like Alien is because like nobody in the movie Alien's smart. They're just kind of like they're workers. They're blue collar,
Yeah.
but they're just in a weird situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so you look and you go like, why would people go out there? Yeah, because they have some fucked up issues with humanity. They want to get away. They're looking for a job like this.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, there is like, what's his name? I don't know what the
Blair?
character's called. The scientist guy, the one scientist that I guess is there.
The
Like,
guy who turns out to be the last thing guy? Like
Is
Blair,
he?
the doctor? The
Yeah,
one who checks
yeah.
it? Yeah. Wilford Brimley.
Brimley.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Him.
Um,
Yeah, he's
There's
like a doctor,
him.
but like,
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
McCready's just a helicopter pilot. You know what I mean? They all, like, none of them act or, do anything that makes them seem like too smart or anything.
They didn't even know who their leader was until like,
Yeah.
people were like saying like
They
you should
didn't-
be.
They
And
didn't
they're
really
like,
have a
"Okay."
leader. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
No, and that also reminds me that like I think there's not a lot of backstory to these characters, not a lot of like context even. Like you just kind of see a couple scenes here and there of like them chilling, playing games. The guy with the roller skates is like cooking or something. Like it's whatever, but
They're
like
just
that,
people.
that's it. Yeah, like you don't know their stories. You just see them as characters, and yet they're still, I wouldn't say like fleshed out, but like they still stand as their own. I feel like they still have their own personalities, which is cool.
Anything else you want to add about this movie, man?
Let's see.
Can I talk about the prequel thing?
Oh,
real quick,
yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, I talked about this before. 2011, they made just called The Thing. They called it The Thing again, but it's a prequel, and it's awful. And in the almost year we've been doing this, even with Child's Play, I have never hated a movie that I have watched for the show or adjacent to this show as much as that movie.
Wait, so you're going on record to say you didn't hate Child's Play?
No, not well. I hated Child's Play, but not as much as I hated this, like The Thing 2011.
Whatever.
Not only is like it's like some of the worst CGI I've ever seen, worse than like early 2000s CGI, worse than the CGI in like Escape from L.A. You've got it's like a remake where they hit every single beat, but it's disguised as a prequel, and there's so many goddamn plot holes in like connecting it to the thing. Like it's like, oh, the Norwegians need help, so they call in the Americans. So if they're calling in the Americans, then why do the guys over in Antarctica, like the American camp, why do they not know what's going on if there's
Right.
already Americans in the Norwegian camp?
Like they just flew in
Also,
Americans from like.
You remember the
anywhere.
beginning of the thing, the real thing, the thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
You see how after the helicopter lands, the pilot gets out and starts
They start
shooting.
at the dog.
Yeah, and after not just the guy with the gun, he like gets out and starts shooting at everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, until I
He gets
forget
killed
his
by the
name.
grenade.
No, he gets killed. No, he gets shot. He gets killed by the guy who says like, "I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch."
That was my
That
favorite
guy-
quote.
Fucking
man.
love that line. But that guy in like they kind of tie this into the original. In the 2011 one, he's just a guy who shows up. And then like there's one last guy who's there at like the Norwegian camp, and he's like, "Come on, we gotta get the dog." And he gets the gun and he flies up. If you don't know anything about what's happening prior to like just this random dude showing up with a gun saying, "Get me in the air, we're gonna kill this dog," why are you so committed to like landing this plane and then shooting at everybody? You know what I mean? Like there's no weight. There's no like reason why he would have gone
Oh,
down
I
and
see what you're
sacrificed
saying.
himself at that point.
Right.
There's so many goddamn plot holes. It is awful. It is a goddamn awful movie. I have never seen anything like as like big budget yet awful as that movie. It's bad. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her. I love her as an
queen.
actress. I love her as just a beautiful human being.
Yeah.
Great in like everything else I've seen her in. Even okay in this. She's not acting bad. Even Joel Edgerton, who I'm in love with.
Really?
Love Joel Edgerton.
I would not have ever guessed that.
I
Okay.
love Joel Edgerton. I love The Gift. I love everything I've ever seen him in. Even like he's the best part of like It Comes at Night.
Oh,
It Comes at Night. He's great in Midnight Special. He's great.
that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good fucking movie. He's great in like everything he's in. And like they can't even, those being the two main characters, can't even save that movie. It's fucking bad. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. That's
Yeah.
not just to you. That's to the audience. Don't watch it.
It's intriguing me though.
Uh,
I'm never gonna watch it probably.
So, anything else to?
Well, you kind of took my the last part. I was gonna mention that quote. Like I know you've been through a lot, guys, but please get me off
when
of
you
this.
get the chance. Rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. And
That's
he's
so
just-
good.
His face just gets instantly red. It's so good.
That whole scene, like,
Yeah.
it's so freaking good.
Have you seen they did like a claymation Pingu version? You know Pingu the
Pingu,
penguin?
yeah.
Yeah, they did a Pingu version. I'll show you one on YouTube. when
Oh,
we're done
of the
with this.
thing?
Yeah, of that scene.
That's
Um,
awesome.
But it's your pick now, man. What's the next movie?
Damn right. And this is a Christmas pick.
Your ho ho holiday pick.
Ho ho horror.
They should make a Hanukkah themed Christmas movie.
Have they not?
Oh, there's probably the only thing I can think is there's probably some shitty movie out there called like The Killer Dreidel, but like that's I don't know.
Also next episode,
Next episode.
we are doing Black Christmas
Boom, baby.
from 1974.
Bob Clark's Black Christmas,
That indeed.
featuring the late Margot Kidder, rest in peace. That's Lois Lane in the Superman movies, the good Superman movies.
There are a lot of good Superman
No,
movies.
there's like 4, and that's about it. And the rest.
You
there's
some kind
4.
of Marvel stan or something? dude?
No, I just only like the Christopher Reeves one.
Some kind of Suicide Squad?
Are we some kind of Suicide Squad?
All right. Black Christmas, baby.
Black Christmas. Before we go though, I want to announce a little bit more about this Cronenberg thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to propose to me.
Oh, ho, ho. How I
Damn.
wish. How you wish.
I wish.
Oh my lord. Okay, let's pull this up. These are all of the movies that we're gonna be doing for Cronenberg.
Oh, here we go.
Uh,
That's a lot.
I told you guys last time that we were doing it and that you could probably figure out what the movies are, but you know, trying to give you guys a little bit of information each time. I'll edit out this silence. That's fun. Okay. Okay. So, in this order, at least as far as we know, this is going to be the order we do them in.
As far as this taping.
As far as this taping, Shivers, Rabid, The Brood, Scanners, Videodrome, The Dead Zone, The Fly, Dead Ringers, Naked Lunch, Crash, Existenz, and Spider. How do you feel about that?
Now, please remind the listeners, how many episodes are we doing of this?
3,
Right. How many movies?
12.
Right. So what does that mean?
Long episodes.
Long episodes.
Awesome episodes.
Dear God. And that also means
There will be
a lot of movie watching.
I am going to make sure that there will be no bonus content coming out in between those. It's going to be, film school to film school. We're going to be doing it.
It
That's
is-
a tentative title.
It's
Too.
literally film. Well, oh, great. Now as I'm already starting this sentence, but it's literally film school because
Kinda.
Doug has been freaking vicious to me, telling me to watch these movies, that I need to watch them, that I need to learn Cronenberg, that I need to be invested in this. I feel like I should be getting school credit for this.
I hope.
We should.
We will
should get this
send-
accredited.
Yeah, anybody who can prove to us that you've watched all 12 films and listened to all the podcasts, we will sign personal letters and send them to you. That
We'll make
back us.
we'll make diplomas.
we'll make diplomas.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
That'd be cute.
It'll be laminated.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
Thank you guys once again. And don't forget to subscribe and to leave a comment or a review, depending on where you're listening to this. And we are on all social media platforms. We are on Twitter at good_suffering. We are on Instagram at Good Suffering Podcast. And we are on Facebook at Good Suffering, a horror podcast. And I do want to apologize because in that slew of bonus episodes I've released, I haven't really said any of that towards the end of any of those episodes.
You're apologizing to who? Me?
You, the audience, God. Thank you. And once again, this has been Good Suffering.